that's under God. Welcome to Hashtag Town Hall, the flagship podcast of the RAF organization. Tonight, we are actually going to have state-to-state intel rounds. There's no special guest tonight. We had some amazing guests line up. We had Dallas Jenkins, the creator of the Chosen series, lined up. He had to cancel. Then we had a backup doctor, Isik Abla. Really good story of this woman growing up in a jihadist family and escaped, and wants to tell everyone what happens with Sharia law and whatnot. So everyone canceled. So we're just going to go into state-to-state intel. We're going to start with prayer and then the Pledge of Allegiance before we start the state-to-state intel. So we're going to call Dr. Aaron Gray to lead us into prayer for tonight. Thank you in advance, Dr. Gray.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, Lord God, Lord Jesus, we just know you are mighty. You are powerful, Lord Jesus. And Lord, we know that you are the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the one that sits upon the throne, the one that sustains, that owns it all, that keeps everything in their hand and gives us breath each and every moment of our lives. Lord, we know that we are sustained by you, and we just thank you for that. We know that we are saved by you, and we praise you for that. We know, Lord, that we were made by you, for you, because of you, to worship you. And so in that, we offer you all the praise we have, because you are the only one worthy of our praise. You are so loving, so kind, that your word says you inhabit the praises of your people. And so we just thank you for that. We thank you for fellowshipping us, for loving us enough to not want an eternity without us, that despite our failures, despite our sin, you sent your Son to walk on this earth, to limit himself, put on mortal flesh, to go to the cross, shed his blood, give his body, sacrifice his life, walk out of the grave 3 days later so we could be redeemed, so we could have sanctification, salvation in you. And that is just amazing to us, and we thank you for it. You are who you say you are, the great I am, the beginning and the end, the Alpha and Omega, the first and the last, the author and finisher of our faith. And so we come now humbly before your throne, seeking your will to be done, seeking your presence felt here, Lord. We know we have people in our family here who are struggling, who are hurting, who are going through a tribulation, a scary time, Lord. Tornado watches and things of that nature. We ask you to be with them, protect them, put your guardian angels about them. Lift up those who are sick to you here and now, Father. Reach out your hand, healing them, strengthening them, showing them that they do not battle this alone. But just as the three men, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, stood in the fire, you were the fourth man in the fire with them. And we just praise you for that, Lord God. So we come before you now, asking you to open our hearts, open our minds, open our eyes, and open our ears. So we have eyes to see, ears to hear, and spirits to know and understand what it is you have for us tonight. Let all we say and all we do be about you, from you, because of you, to your people, to strengthen us, to lead us, to guide us, to remind us that we are not our own, but we have been bought for, paid by a price, the price of your blood. And what we do for you. So we ask you to remind us to keep you first and foremost as we move throughout this night. In the holy and precious name, we say, amen.
Amen. Thank you for that, Doctor. That was beautiful. Now we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. So let's really quickly do that. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and with liberty and justice for us all. Thank you for that, Rob. I always love you having the flag up there. On that note, let's see if Rob wants to kick off Ohio. Let's go ahead and let him kick off. Those that are watching the live stream, in the state-to-state intel round, they pick the top 8 topics or so under 3 minutes, lightning fast, and Rob Ohio will go first. Thank you so much, Rob. We'll see how this goes.
All right. In Ohio, we've The big debate is the property tax. Are we going to be able to vote it out? That's yet to be seen. But last week I was watching on YouTube, and I don't know if you know who Whitney Webb is. She's an investigative journalist. One of her topics was Ohio, corporate bought, where I found out quite a few interesting things. Ohio is one of the top 4 states with data centers. And this was tied in with the Epstein because one of Epstein's main financiers was a guy called Wexner.
Turn off.
He owns he's the richest guy in Ohio. But we found she was talking about some corporate corporatism, I guess is what you would call, is where the not the government is ran by the government, but it's ran by a corporation. And they're going through buying up farmland and forcing people off with it. And it's basically the government is bought by the corporation, owned by the corporation, and ran by the corporation. That was the whole gist of her uh, interview. And that was a very big eye opener. I didn't know, but there's a few cities that Wixner's basically bought, installed his own city council, and people have no input on it. Those are complete cities. And I think this is where don't want to say the New World Order, but where we're heading to with all the corporations going in and buying. Ohio is much at the forefront of it. So just keep an eye on Ohio and see where it's going. I'm trying to do a little bit more investigation into it, and I'll let you know when I find out. That's all I have, Ashley.
Thank you, Rob. You fit it in 3 minutes. You could go ahead and change the background. I owe you a margarita. Now we're going to call on Sharon, Pennsylvania. Sharon, tell us what's going on in your state. Thank you.
Alrighty. So we have quite a few things going on here. The main thing that concerns me right now is the SAVE Act. I don't know if you all have been paying attention to that, but here in Pennsylvania, we're trying to get a hold of Fetterman and McCormick, and there's some reason why it has not moved. And the scary thing is, if these people don't vote for this, they're going to try to impeach Trump again. And this is the kind of stuff they're trying to hide from us. So I don't know if you guys have even heard of this, but and the other thing is, please look into it. It's like huge, because they're going to try to impeach Trump again if they don't pass this. And it's been stagnant for like the past year. The other thing is, as you know, and at this point I don't care, I told you that I still haven't heard if I was going to be working this next election. Okay. So
Right.
I just 2 days ago, the whole thing, you talk about Hawaii, this is crazy. So the last election, I was the minority inspector in 3 precincts, the only Republican. Everyone else quit. And that happened the election before. So then I called this past week. I'm like, what's going on? I need to know, am I working? What's going on? So this upcoming election, which is probably going to be pretty scary, even though they say it's like midterms, it's actually pretty huge, because we have to like look after the smallest precincts in our towns and cities. So I am going to be a minority inspector in 2. They're having me in 2 this time. And then I had an argument with somebody that's supposedly working the elections that said it was impossible for me to be the minority inspector in 3 precincts the last election, but it's all documented and it's in my taxes. You can't make this stuff up. So
Wow, thank
I
you.
only got a call 2 days ago that they want me to be a minority inspector in the same place for 2. But the scary thing is, not one Republican is there with me. It's just me.
Well, thank you for that update. You were right in the 3 to 4 minute window. Congratulations, good job. Now let's go to Kansas, and then we'll go to Megaso in Hawaii, and let's keep this going. Let me pull up Frank. Uh, he doesn't
You
have
got me
his
there?
he doesn't have his cool Kansas background tonight, but go ahead, Frank. What's up?
No. Hey, what I was going to say was almost exactly what Rob said. Whitney Webb, I've been following her for quite a while because she came in, oh, you know, 5 years ago. She's really opened up a lot that has to do with this corporatism, but nothing new.
Yeah, but
She
what is she?
just,
What's your update on Kansas specifically?
well, the Kansas is doing the same thing Ohio is with data centers, okay, and with corporate politics, where uh, we've had two things happen in Kansas. We've had some data centers, and I flew over one 2 weeks ago over what's called Google Mica, MICA. It's monstrous, monstrous. It's a corporate data center campus. That's one of three that are going into operation or construction. So I think that, I mean, there's a whole bunch of other areas, as Rob said. Ohio's in the top four. Virginia and Texas are the top two, and then I don't know who holds number three. But this is, and again, it's our own government. It's all the administrations, whether it was before or not. Kansas is participating in this nonsense, and the Republicans are behind all this shit. That's the killer, is that most of these people and their donors are all Reds. That's all I have to say.
Perfect. Thank you, Frank. Now let's go to Hawaii. Let me get Megaso up here. So hang on a second. Megaso, and then we're gonna do Becky, Texas. So get ready. Oh, Megaso's not there. Well, Susie, you want to give us Hawaii? Go ahead, Susie.
Oh, sure. And Megeso, if you tap in, jump in on any time. I'll just be brief. Really, the main story here, of course, is all the suppression that is coming forth in Hawaii. And there is, of course, a big divide, in politically going on. And I think it needs to happen for everyone to come together, because people have to see what's happening on the left side. So we've got election integrity. That's a big issue right now. It's gained a lot of national attention. It's not going away. And I think we're going all the way back to 2020. I know here they're trying to just address 2024, but no, I think we're going to go back to the whole thing. So that's a really big issue. And then, of course, the attacks with the midterms coming are really ramping up. There was a lot of desperation from the opposition about holding onto their power base, and so it's getting, pretty lively out there. So I'll let you move on to someone else, but I just wanted to, share those little updates.
Thank you, Susie. Is there any hope with the election kind of data over there? Because I know Victoria's been giving me updates and it's not looking good. Megaso, how are things going in your state?
Well, when things aren't looking good, sometimes that means we're over the target.
Yep.
So we don't hope. We have faith. Because hope means we're relying on other people. We have faith because we know how we got here. And once you know where you got here, you look at where is the head of the snake? How did the problem really begin? So people are really taking stock of themselves now and doing their own root cause analysis, if you would. So we can get to the root of the issues and we can identify them. And you identify them by being your best journalist, not relying on other people, doing your own research. And then we create solutions to the problems. but you got to go down to the grassroots. You got to get down to the neighborhoods. And being that we're made up of several islands, and we're the smallest, well, not the smallest, but we have 73,000 people, which isn't much. And you've been to the island, Ashley, so you know each area has its own personality, and that's the way we have to look at things. If we look at it as one big piece of pie, an issue, whether it's homelessness or cost of living or whatever, is all handled differently on different pockets of the island. So each neighborhood has its own issues. Each community has issues. So if you're in the North Shore, it tends to be wetter climate. If you're in the West Side, you're going to roast, you're going to bake. If you're down south, it's kind of in between. And we're always dealing with weather anomalies, whether they're created or real. So that's what brings people together. So government creates fear to separate people and to control us. Once we come to the conclusion that that's the case, because the government is the people, we then take back control of our area, our neighborhoods, then our communities, and then our island, and then the county, because our county consists of Ni'ihau and Kauai. I don't know if you've noticed, they're opening up tourism to the island of Ni'ihau. That's been the forbidden island for years. No tourists, got to be invited. Well, it's now being open to special invitation for special guests that might be coming in. So who are those special guests? So my focus is the campaign, because obviously I'm running against globalists. So the agenda is very clear, status quo globalist agenda for change, bringing people back to the government, bringing it back to the neighborhoods on up. And so that's where I'm spending most of my energy. We got the scales of justice behind us because we have to hold people accountable. And you're now seeing more arrests now at the national level. There's a lot more coming. So hold on to your hat, I'll hold on to mine. And we have to hold our local officials accountable for what happened. So there's one question they asked me in an interview, and that's if you got elected as mayor, would you consider putting the candidates that are running against you as part of your administration? And my answer is no. These people have been in power 16 to 20 years that have helped bring the cost of living up where it's unaffordable for all the locals. And so they turn their back on the people. They turned their back on us during COVID, during the experimental vaccine, and during the cost of living, the land grabs, everything that's taken place. So no, the answer is straight no. We need change. And with the help of the people, we'll bring about that change. And that's where my focus is going to continue.
Thank you, McGaso, for your update. Now we'll go to Becky, Texas, and then we'll go to Tennessee with Teresa after Becky. Go ahead, Becky.
Yeah, I got a couple of things. Last week, I was able to go to a luncheon for Mays Middleton, who is in a runoff with Chip Roy for Attorney General. And I really like this guy. It's the second time I've heard him speak. He's a wealthy man, and so he cannot be. I'm thinking he cannot be bought, by donors. And he seems very, very intelligent. And I know already I'm going to be voting for him. I did in the last election also. But Chip Roy, he kind of reminds me of a heavy-handed person. A lot of people like him. And he seems to be more in the public eye as far as, showing snippets of him, speaking here or there. So it's going to be a tough one. But I think Mays Middleton will be able to do it. He seems like a very honest person to me and caring. Anyways, the other thing was about the appraisal, the proposed appraisal for properties. There was a Republican group in town that came, offered a meeting out by the airport, and it had limited seating, and it got filled up the first night. And that meeting is going to be a week from tomorrow, next Friday. So that ought to be a good one. That's really all about what I've got tonight.
What about Paxton?
I haven't really heard anything about him this week.
When's the runoff gonna get finished?
Well, the runoff is, let's see, it's next month. Let's see. I don't know what. Oh, I didn't mark it in my calendar yet. Oh, wait, hold on 1 second.
After Teresa, we'll get Ron Nevada.
Near the end of the month, May 26th is when the runoff is.
May 26th,
So,
okay.
yeah. Paxton's a likable guy too, but one thing I have noticed is Greg Abbott. Man, he sure gets himself in the news like every few days or so, and I think people are starting to like, going back to liking him now. So I don't know how it's going to go. We got about a month to figure it out.
Copy that. Thank you so much, Becky. Now we're going to go to a very red state, Tennessee, and our Christian pillar leader, Teresa Wiggins. Go ahead. Tell us what's going on. Thank you.
So from what I see, there are a couple things. The legislation has a Charlie Kirk Act aimed at college campuses and heads to the governor. Legislators are also pushing to expand the death penalty for child sex crimes and passing stricter self-defense legislation. And the other topic that I was interested in is political activity. The state is looking to force participation in a federal summer food program and considering requiring sheriffs to partner with ICE.
Thank you, Teresa.
Yep.
Now we're going to call Ron Nevada. So let me get Ron Nevada, and then Rosemarie will go after her. I want to give you guys an update on, if I can, real fast, Ron, an update on Leslie Mahan. She says that it seems like it's manufactured weather for sure. So she texted me just now. Go ahead, Ron.
All right. Data shows Nevada leads the nation in job growth. Florida and Nevada lawmakers moved to block monkey imports over biosecurity fears. Reese calls for moratorium on new data center approvals. And this is out of Reno, Nevada. This councilman, Devin Reese, is calling for a moratorium on new approvals at the data center for data centers. He believes that we need to look at it a lot closer before anything is done with them. Nevada Division of Corrections plans more limits on prison mail before submitting the required study. And the reason is because the prisons are being inundated through the mail with drugs, and they need to get a handle on it. And there is a shortage of correctional officers here in Nevada, a huge shortage, and they pay well. So anybody needs a job, they're hiring. Nevada's 2026 governor race could decide the electoral college destiny. And Nevada's 6 electoral votes could prove decisive in activating a change in the electoral college if people are trying to make a change in electoral college. Republican Governor Joe Lombardo and likely Democrat challenger Aaron Ford are under the spotlight. Nevada DMV, Department of Motor Vehicles, is cracking down on fake temporary license plates. There's a lot of vehicles without license plates here in Nevada, and that's not good. Nevada Conservation League endorses Aaron Ford for governor. I'm sad to see this because Aaron Ford is a woke liberal attorney general that's running for the governorship of Nevada. And Nevada U.S. Senator Catherine Cortez Masto, Democratic colleagues urge Senate committee to block the Trump dollar coin. Anything he does, these Democrats are against it. That's all I got.
Thank you, Ron. Let's go to Rosemarie to go into detail about Florida, and then we're going to see if Kathy New York will chime in. So let's see. Rosemarie, go ahead. Thank you.
Okay. Well, Sheila McCormick, the congressional representative for the 20th District in Palm Beach and Broward County, resigned from Congress because she faced House Ethics Committee for on federal charges about allegations she stole $5 million in funds for her campaign, the 2021 campaign. She fraudulently diverted COVID-19 relief funding for her family's health care company to her 2021 congressional campaign. So she has resigned. The governor has signed some new bills. He is banning local governments from funding diversity, equity, and inclusion, the DEI programs, and to prohibit local net zero energy policies. It prohibits spending funds on promoting DEI initiatives that manipulate the composition of employees based on race, sex, or sexual orientation. And it also allows residents to sue local governments and permits residents to not only sue, but the government to remove officials who violate this law. In addition, the net zero policy bans net zero carbon emissions, including banning carbon taxes, fees, or penalties. And there is also he signed a law about the aerospace and transportation, HB 1093, authorizing the Florida Department of Transportation to fund vertiport facilities for electric air taxis, positioning Florida as a hub for advanced air. Also, the education and child safety initiatives for 13,000 families that are using new partnerships between Florida's voluntary pre-kindergarten program and Florida prepaid college savings plans, which allows for stimulus for simultaneous application and offers $100 toward a 529 plan and the five protection laws. And of course, he's still working on some other things, but I think that about covers the most important things that have been happening this week.
Thank you so much for that, Rosemarie. Now we're going to call. Oh gosh, I think Kathy's. Let's see. I don't know which one's Kathy. She left. Kat, Connecticut. You want to unmute and tell us what's going on in your state? 3. Go for
Sorry,
it.
I hit the wrong button.
Now, go ahead and tell us what's going on in
Oh,
Connecticut.
what's not going on here? I told you last week Trump is going after our politicians here because they keep suing him. So he's turning the tables. They just passed a bill that's going to force us all to be vaccinated, even as adults, at the government's will. I'm not complying. They can do whatever, but I'm not complying with that. It's just a train wreck here. I don't know where to begin. They've banned Glocks. They've if anything that you could think they could do against your constitutional rights has probably been done here in the last week or two.
Wow. And the national news doesn't talk about none of this happening in Connecticut. Rob and McGaso and Sharon, they all shook their heads. No, they didn't even hear about this.
Yeah, actually, my personal page is public, and I think I put up the one on the vaccines on my personal page. Just because I'm so angry over it. They've gone after homeschool, people who are homeschooling their children. They want DCF to automatically get involved if you homeschool your children. I mean, anything and everything they could do. It's ridiculous.
I wouldn't, I mean, Valerie just said, well, how could someone live there in a place like that?
The problem is we can't afford to move. You know, we're being bled dry, and there's no money to move.
Understand.
I mean,
Well,
a lot of people have left, but I mean, it continues to get worse.
understand.
I'm so sorry.
Sorry to hear that, Kat. Thank you for reporting in this week. Thank you. Well, while we're waiting to see who these 2 iPhones are, we have some national things that we want to cover tonight. So let me go ahead and pull that up. Gosh, I'd like to talk about the Iran situation. Strait of Hormuz, you know, how it's going back and forth. There's a lot to discuss there tonight. The blockade. Rob, I'm calling you first. What's your opinion or latest on the Strait of Hormuz and the blockade? What's the update on that?
Well, what they're trying to do is block Iran from, they're bleeding them dry. Question is willpower. Like I've said before, all Iran has to do is not give up, and they win the war. And I don't think it's as big an effect because they are transporting between Iran and China. Just heard that tonight on a TV. And don't forget, Iran also has other ports besides, that's not in the Gulf area. To the north of them, they also have the Caspian Sea that they can import things from. So, we've had sanctions on them for how many years? And they're still holding on. So all we can do is, keep blockading them, but eventually somebody's going to get tired of waiting and force their way through, whether it be a Chinese ship or, just one of the other Emirates that are in that strait as well. It's not a good situation. And that's my best advice on it.
Okay, so what do you think about this? And then we're going to go to the Virginia fiasco voting that happened this week. Miguel, so what do you think about the Strait of Hormuz and the blockade? And I think it's an economic control from us standpoint, but we'll see.
I think it's much bigger than that because this goes back to the World Economic Forum and the plan beyond COVID, if you would, to keep things going. And that's to hurt the food supply, the farmers, because the fertilizer also goes through the Strait of Hormuz. And so they can really disrupt the supply lines, the food lines. So that's what's taking place now. It's a last ditch effort, if you would, from the globalists. Rob's right. They have other access points, but they're not like Afghanistan where they can hide in the mountains and defeat Russia and all those other armies. It's just a matter of time. The people are taking back the government in Iran. So it's going back to the people. So I don't see us losing the war because it's not a war to begin with. We haven't even reached our 60 days yet of the thing. So I see everything's unfolding as it should, that the players are being exposed now for the food supply, because like I said, that's the major issue. As they're controlling the food, we see it right here. The land grabs and controlling the food, controlling the water, controlling the natural resources. That's the globalist agenda. Remember, you will own nothing and be happy. So they're going to pull out all stops, and the next one is the food supply. So here we are, but we win. It's okay. It's a spiritual war, and it's got to play itself out. I yield.
Thank you, Miguel. So, Becky, Texas, I'm going to call on you. You wanted to discuss the Virginia, so go ahead and open it up. And then there's two iPhone people. If you could tell us what state you're in, I unmuted you, and then you could tell us who you are. And I'll go to Joanne and Tom next. Go ahead, Becky.
Before I start on Virginia, didn't anybody else hear this morning about some company or some organization or our country in cahoots with other countries? As far as that Strait of Hormuz, they're going to build a tunnel and rail system to avoid that, and you're not going to have to use shipping. Did anyone else hear that?
Well, Saudi Arabia already has a pipeline in that area. The trouble with that, with the modern technology, all Iran has to do is blow it up and they can seal it off.
Okay, but they'd have to get to it. It
Well,
seemed
it
to
would
me
take
like
about 10 years to build something like that, too.
yeah, maybe so. They were going to be able to ship not just oil, but also gas. But anyways.
Yeah, it's still a stationary item that they could hit.
Yeah. Okay. Virginia, yeah. When they voted to redistrict, I was all sad and everything because I have relatives on the East Coast. And one of my nieces is very strong leftist. I was sad and everything. And then the very next day, it's like, well, the judges aren't going to allow it right now. So wait and see how that goes. I just, I went from a frowning to a smile in one day.
Well, didn't the judge say that the certification is something like they said they can't do it?
Yeah, they did it wrongly.
They used the wrong wording in paperwork. They used the wrong wording.
I just think it's funny that they let it go that long. Biding time, I guess.
Yeah, it says the Virginia referendum ruled unconstitutional.
But that new governor, Spanberger or whatever her name is, man, she's just right under that New York guy, Mandani. Oh my goodness, what a snake!
Yeah, she is. She's a tyrant.
Yep. She acts like she's kind of moderate, but she is not.
No, she is not. Absolutely not.
Thank you, Becky, for bringing up the Virginia situation.
Anybody see that they outed all the Congress people that were paying into a slush fund for their sexual impropriety?
Well,
Did anybody catch that?
they're pushing to remove them, right? But they haven't removed them yet.
Right, but at least they made it visible. That's one step in the right direction. But not all of them were made visible.
Yeah, that's the trick.
That is the trick.
It's both parties that are doing it. So, until we see the unredacted, everybody that was taken out of that slush fund who we are paying for,
right?
Then I want to see heads roll. You just can't pick and choose the people that you want to persecute.
Right. Well, you got to hand it to the Congresswoman there, I think, Anna Polina, for bringing that up, and Nancy Mace. I mean, they're two firebrands right there, getting things done.
I agree. So we need to talk about the Save America Act, guys. I'm seeing a lot of rhinos in this. Are we going to get this passed, Rob, Sharon, Teresa? Are we going to get this passed? And then, wait, before we get into that, I got to ask Tom and Joanne, what's going, you guys want to share anything? Go ahead, Tom and Joanne. They're not there. All right, Rob, what do you think?
No, they're not. Neither party wants it. We have control, but yet, has it been brought up? No, Thune is putting it on the back burner, and I've heard rumors that it's just not even going to come up for a vote. They both have.
Yeah, regardless of the will.
What's that?
Regardless of the will of the people that want it, they decide it's not going to happen.
Well,
that's
I'm
really
starting to
frustrating.
think the government doesn't care what we want.
A good topic that was brought up was the SPLC group. That's a good topic to bring up. There's rumors that they put a target on Charlie Kirk. Amy Alaska reported this in the chat. Thank you, Amy. Well, we'll unmute you and you can talk about this. Hang on a second. Amy Alaska, go ahead. You can discuss.
That's how I pretty much know that they put a target on Charlie.
Thank you for that, Amy. So, SPLC, very evil. Kat says, Kat, tell us about this group a little bit in detail. I'm not familiar with this SPLC.
The Southern Poverty Law Center pretty much has gone after every constitutional group, pretty much over the years. I learned about them when I was involved. For anybody that doesn't know, my husband was Massachusetts president of Oath Keepers at one point. So that's when I learned about them. But there were other groups that I was involved in that was on their hit list, so to speak. Just not good people. They would call you a terrorist, but we just found out what they were all doing behind the scenes. So it was really no surprise. I was actually kind of surprised that they're getting somewhere with it now, because this group has been in existence for a long time and has been a problem for a long time. And
Thank you for that. Real quick, Lacey, any South Dakota updates? What's going on in South Dakota? Thank you for joining, Lacey.
Thank you for having me. Nothing that I know of. I haven't really been following anything lately, though. So, I mean, I totally forgot about this till about an hour ago. And I wasn't home, so I had to haul back home. But I'll figure some stuff out for you next week.
No problem. Thank you for joining, Lacey. Thank you. No problem that you didn't know. That's fine. So, Miguel, what's your thoughts on the SAVE Act? I mean, are we gonna get that passed?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Oh, Miguel, sorry.
He's
Oh,
muted.
sorry.
It's okay, Lacey. Miguel, I'm clicking to unmute you. Let's see. There you go.
Well, at what point do we listen to the people? The people all want voter ID from all the parties. I think, again, as we're eliminating people from Congress and the Senate, that things are going to go on. We are under martial law at some point. So if we don't have the SAVE Act, you're not going to have free and fair elections. There may not be any elections at all. We're in a military lockdown, if you would. So this is the time to save the republic. If we don't save the republic, we're done. That's the bottom line. We're done. So
I agree, but if we don't get the SAVE Act passed, the elections are going to be no different than 2020.
Well, it doesn't have. Well, even you were talking before about the Virginia thing. We saw a 60,000 voter swing in a 5-minute span when the no's were way ahead. So again, we're seeing the cheating, and things are all going to come out. You talked about these people have been arrested, but the ones that matter haven't. This is all a lawful process. How many times do I have to keep repeating that? That you're not going to, if you're going to take somebody out, you got to do it lawfully, and you got to do it properly. Otherwise, it's just going to keep coming back and repeating things. It never gets done. That's what they talk about. Okay, you can't keep repeating the same act and expect different results. Okay, the legal process is broken. The judiciary is broken. Period. So we got to do it lawfully through the military, through JAG, through the grand juries. And people forget the people are part of the judicial system. The jural assemblies need to be formed in every state so the people can hold them accountable. We're duped, we're manipulated and indoctrinated to believe that government has all the power. They don't have any power. The power comes from the people. And the people need to wake up to that fact that you're losing everything. It's time. It's been time for a long time. Transcend time. Get into space. You say, oh, it's a spiritual one. Well, you're all praying, right? But you're all hoping. We don't need hope. We need strong men with balls and women with courage to speak up.
Amen.
I yield.
Amen.
Thank you for that, Susie. Real quick, you wanna butt in with that, and then Billy in Florida, we're gonna call him Billy. Go ahead, Susie. Go for it.
Yeah, I was just going to add on top of what Miguel said is that I don't think the SAVE Act we need to hang too much on that. Of course, we'll push for it, but in the end, it doesn't really matter because Trump he's going to create those EOs before the midterm election, and the most recent thing I heard is even if they have to put the National Guard at the polls, they will be enforcing this. So I think the elections will be, they will definitely be more accountable. You know, I think there's a lot of theater that's being played out for people before that, so people can really understand how critical it is, and that we actually did have election anomalies across the board, and how just devious that is. And people have to see that or they don't believe it. You know, I mean, even at the first stage of this, after the 2020 election, there were a lot of people out there didn't believe that there was election interference. And now people are really starting to see that. So a lot of this just has to play out. But yes, I have a strong belief that those things will be amended, you know, they'll be fixed. And Trump said if he has to do it himself, create an EO or whatever it takes to do it, it will be done. And he is always known to keep his word on that pretext. So whether they will, the National Guard will show up for that. And I think in some places like Hawaii and others, we will see that. And that's fine because people can stand at the polls and feel safe and know that their elections are going to be accountable. So we have to go forward on that understanding that, yes, by that time we'll have it. But in the meantime, we've got a lot of theater to watch, and just keep raising awareness with people, and just help it along.
Thank you for that, Susie. We're going to go to Billy now. Ken, stand fast. There's a line, so I'll let you chat in a little while. Don't worry. Go ahead, Billy. What's the updates? Thank you.
The update. It's interesting. Okay, so I have to just tell you, I love listening to what you have to say. It's very, very, it's fun to listen to you. You know, I'm down here in Florida, but I'm also very active in Alabama, as y'all know. And I can just tell you from down here, we're currently dealing with a situation. I'm dealing with a situation where we have a guy who's running for governor in the state of Alabama. Tommy Tuberville, his current senator, who has alleged that he lives. Did I tell you all this before?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay. He alleges that he lives in Alabama, and you have the 7-year residency requirement. You have to live there for 7 consecutive years. He has owned a 3-bedroom, 1-bath in Auburn, where he used to coach. Then he went to Ole Miss. Then he went to another Arkansas. What la-di-da. And he has a $20 million house on the beach down here, about 5 miles from me, and on Santa Rosa Beach. And he's alleging that he is eligible to be the governor. Well, we've been hired by the opponent, and he's a friend of mine. And just simply sent him a letter and said, hey, you just need to promise that you need to tell the people under oath that you are a resident. Well, he wouldn't do it. So we filed a lawsuit, state of Alabama, and just said, look, set it for an immediate emergency, Rule 65, immediate temporary injunction. You can't run. Do it now. And it has to be trial by jury because, as y'all know, under the law, only the jury can decide, not the judge. The judge cannot decide. All of y'all have mentioned these things about what judges are doing. Judges have no authority to do anything, nothing. So anyway, we did that. Nothing's happened. And we have elevated it to a negotiation, to a political buyout, which I determined was not possible because we entered an additional party, which was God's Law Team, is who represents the governor's, the Ken McFeeters, the guy that's going against him, God's Law Team, which that freaked them out. They were going, that's not a bar attorney. I said, it's sure not. So with that said, intervened on the case on Monday as God's Law Team as trustee for the people of the state of Alabama. And simply are noticing a deposition to Tommy and his wife that all we want you to do is to swear that you live in Alabama. That's all you got to do. And we'll see what they do. I don't think they'll do it. I think he'll drop out of the race. If he doesn't drop out of the race, we'll just, we'll see what happens. And the other defendant is the Republican Party, the Alabama GOP. So that's what's happening in Alabama. And I'm in Florida, and I just got off a call, and I apologize for not being on here. I just got off a call where there are a lot of things happening in the state of Florida, but I won't go into it. So
Well, can you share some of those Florida things? Because we believe there's some rhino takeover happening in several counties.
there is some. Say that again. I missed that.
Rhinos taking over the wrecks in certain counties.
And so you're saying that is a negative thing, because remember, I have no idea on all these terms and rhinos and all that. I live in a world that doesn't even think about it. So that's a good thing, or is that a bad thing?
That's a bad thing. We don't want rhinos. We don't want fake Republican conservative Christians running the whole county.
Yeah, what I've determined in the state of Florida in the cases that I have pending, which are several, is that this is one of the most corrupt states in the whole United States of America, and that there are places here where if you go individually against them, you will just get killed. Just that simple. So we're in an environment now where everything has to be done in a collective against the entire thing, which would be the state. It all has to be done against the state, the entire state, and a co-defendant. If you're going to go to the federal district court, which is the only place to go, because no other court even exists. All of what we talk about, all these other courts, they don't even exist. It's you just try not going in there. Just don't go in. Is that you have to include the bar association for that particular state, because the bar association is 100% responsible for everything that's going on that is unlawful, because they have written the laws, they've lobbied the laws, they've administered the laws, they've done everything, they've controlled everybody. So, and that's the only way to play. So I don't know if that's even a good summary, because really right now, honestly, my mind almost works in a jumble, because so much of what's going on is so simple to deal with that trying to articulate what's going on relative to what should be done in what people understand, nobody can understand it, because it's all so simple. Everybody has a perceived reality that is not reality. So you can't talk to people about what you need to do. And I know this on this call. I know Megeso understands what I'm talking about. You cannot discuss this. We don't need everybody to understand anything. We don't need the people to do anything. We need to stop it, like the Bob Newhart thing. Just stop it. That's called arrest. Not detain, arrest. Stop the crimes that are occurring in this country. It's happening everywhere. Every one of y'all are sitting. That is what you're dealing with. It just needs to stop. So I could go on for 30 days, so I'll shut up. I yield, as Megeso would say, I yield.
Thank you, Billy. Thank you. We love your passion. I think Teresa wants to say something. Oh,
come on, Teresa.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, Billy, can we start with Obama?
Can we? Yeah, the number of individuals is numerous at this point.
For sure.
And he's one of them, certainly, if you're going to do something. And Megeso, you were talking about grand juries. We do need to have them locally, but the reality is you can't do anything locally because they will kill the grand jury members. So you have to do every grand jury in this country. Just all you need is one. And I think I'm in the process of making that happen. We just need one grand jury that serves everywhere, that nobody knows who the grand jury is, and you can't kill them, and they're going to charge you, and we're going to have a trial. We're going to figure out where the trial is going to be. It's going to be a pettit jury trial, and you can't have people from a community being on a pettit jury trial because they'll just kill them. So you have to have a pettit jury trial on the internet, like we're talking about right here, and have a trial, and then you convict, and then the question is enforcement. It's all about enforcement. And we've got 3,200 sheriffs that have to do what we're talking about because they don't have discretion. United States Department of Justice does not have discretion. Somebody was talking about redacting earlier. They were talking about, hey, it's amazing. They've knocked out stuff with black. Well, who gave the Department of Justice the power to redact? Nobody gave it to them. They took it. They presumed it. They assumed it. That's what our problem is they have no authority. None. Zero. I had no idea I was going to get into this. So anyway, whatever.
Let me try to piggyback on that.
Piggyback, baby. Come on.
So a grand jury, say in the current structure of things, requires 25 members, approximately. So as you said, Billy, if we had one member from each state, there's 50 members of the grand jury right there with backups.
Yep.
We have all the power to do indictments. We can do whatever we need to do.
Yep.
It just takes one person, one individual, man or woman, no pronouns, man or woman,
man or woman,
to step up, in each state, and let's form the national grand jury and take back our nation.
And it's what's so interesting, Miguel. So when you say that, when you articulate to someone, because under the current structure, the prosecutor unlawfully presents something to this grand jury that we think exists. And they have 99% of the cases where the prosecutor presents something, they indict. Then after they indict, they go to the judge, who utilizes the Department of Justice in federal cases to tell the defendant, who has been not unlawfully charged, because there's been no indictment that is consistent with the Constitution of the United States. It is not there. There's no lawful charge against anybody. And then they tell them, look, we're going to put you in jail for 30 years. You need to plead. Well, guess what? Under the law, if you don't go through the grand jury process and get the grand jury to put it into a petit jury, and you don't have a petit jury that goes through the petit jury's process where you have a trial and the petit jury rules, and the petit jury does the sentencing, it doesn't count. You can't, nothing short of that is lawful, which means every single person that is in the jail is in there unlawfully and has to come out. That's what the reality is right now. We don't need grand juries to make that happen. What we need, I don't know what we need. But the question is, when you notify the governors, which need to be notified, which I need to get off my ass and quit playing golf and start doing that kind of stuff, is tell them, look, dude, we're going to unlock the door and let everybody out. We're going to unlock the door and let everybody out because they're in there. You have kidnapped them. That is the reality. I don't know why when I'm talking, I'm looking at Mageso. But anyway, so that's the reality. But we're living in a reality where we think we have no power. We don't, like you said, we have all the power. It's already happened. It's already real. It's just an identification of the enforcement of the reality that is real. And we go, well, how are we going to do that? They got all the guns. No, they don't. They don't have any guns. They have no guns. No policemen. There's no such thing as police power. There's no such thing as arrest unless you have a warrant. All of that is crime. We have to be able to identify as people to acknowledge the fact that what we are witnessing is corporate crime and they've just absorbed it, just taken over everybody. Well, they ain't taken over me. They ain't have taken over you. And everybody has to realize that. When you ignore stuff, somebody does stuff to you, I get them to do it to me just so I can ignore it. And then I can get money out of them. We just need to, I don't know. I could go, I do this all day, every day.
Let me tell you, the real climate change is against the people, because we're all original people. And they changed our chemistry. They changed the way we think, the way we feel. They changed all our sensory perception. So we have to what? Acclimate, which climate is in that word. So it's the words we speak where we kill ourselves, because we don't even know the words we speak. At best, we probably all have a 4th grade reading level.
Yep. And that's by design.
By design.
By
Everything
design.
has been by design.
Dumb
So if you believe in the beginning was the word, then we need the origin of the words. We don't need prefixes, suffixes, and all those things that change who we are. So the climate attack is against us. The climate, what do? They go after our natural resources. They go after nature, the things that were endowed upon us at our birth, that we all have access to, that they have no right to take away, and we can't even give them away. And government didn't give them to us.
No, law came before
So-
government.
So we're the origin. I mean, even when they say Aboriginal, come on, that means not original. AB means no.
No.
Anything with AB is a cancellation. So when you go into this court of law and you say, I'm an Aboriginal, I'm from the beginning, the judge will agree with you. He agrees you're not original. We're all original. We're all the same. There is no race. There is no racism and all that. It's all crap. We've been manipulated and indoctrinated from birth. It's time to reclaim our authority. AU gold authority. We are the authority. So
Well,
words will destroy us.
thank
They'll
you.
save us.
Thank you, McGay. So thank you, Billy. Good side segue there. Rosemarie, you want to chime in? And then Ken, Ron, Frank, let's go. Teresa?
Well, I agree that we have the power, but many of us sit back. We can actually put laws on the November ballot. We can collect enough signatures. This is what we should be doing because we can change the laws. And I don't know how many of you know you need a certain percentage. It can be done by state, it could be done nationally. That has been done before. And I believe that we should, a network with different groups, like-minded groups. If we want to accomplish the change, we can do it. But it takes effort, it takes persistence, determination, and it can be done.
Thank you, Rosemarie. Frank, Ron, and then Tom, Joanne, you guys there? Go ahead, Frank.
Yeah. So, Billy pretty well summed it up, McGay. So, one of the things I heard someone ask about Obama, why? Obama was put in by the corporate mischief people. He's a figurehead. Most all these people are figureheads. But you know what we do? We treat them like athletes. Well, he's better than that person on that team. I mean, this group should know this. Remember, Billy attended the 12 census 4 years ago. Magesa said, yep, we've been mind controlled, we've been brainwashed. Goes back a long, long way. So acclimate, reactivate 12 cranial nerves. We have 12 cranial nerves, 12 senses. We end up spending all of our time arguing about people who are actors. Find out how to put the actors away. They're all actors paid by your tax money, whether they wear a blue button or a red button or a purple button.
Yep.
And I've said this 5 years ago on this show. If you want to know the people that put Obama in, read the book Coup de 12. You're also going to pick up on Peter Thiel in the book. You're going to pick up on the people who started the gaming industry that hooked all of our kids and now our grandkids. And all the ones that started the AI revolution. Oh, and all the ones that were putting the friction for wars. So, Billy understands the law part. I'm not even in the league on that area. I've had drinks with Billy. We talk about many things, but I can't, and Mageso understands that. Okay. That's a lexicon that they have.
But we need to discuss the Peter Thiel. We need to discuss the Palantir. So let's Valerie and I really need to get that Palantir show scheduled. Okay, so let's work on that.
Yeah. Yeah. And like again, before, you look at timelines here. Okay. And a bunch of people have really uncorked the Palantir Corporation and uncorked Alex Karp, uncorked all the people that are associated with it and the ones that are the investors. So you look at who were the early investors, who was the first contract? Well, that was the CIA for a company that didn't have the name Palantir on it yet. So this mischievous stuff is so old, and so many people just forget, you know, how this all came together, and how things even before this came together. And that gets into the Bilderbergs, gets into the Bretton Woods, gets into the multiple societies, the secret societies, and all that stuff. But again, Ashley, we can talk about how we can pull in some resources to kind of open up the Palantir thing. I mean, it's been well documented. The last 3 years, so many researchers have opened that up. And problem is, nothing's being done about it. I have friends that I play hockey with that are in the AI, work for these companies that have AI, and they think anything that has technology wrapped around it, no matter how bad the management is, they don't care. They're making money on the trades, and it's their business until they get thrown out. Meta just announced 10% of their workforce they're dumping. Where are all these people going to go? Where are all these people going to end up? Most of these people are, desk jockeys with keyboards. They won't survive. That's another topic I can get into later, where these people are going to go. So I'll leave it there. Again, I bet you no one in this group besides Billy, maybe Magaso, because I'm not sure, Ashley, you've even read Coup de 12.
Well,
I've mentioned it for 5 years. It is the playbook of now, which happened then.
yeah, we have the book. I do want to mention something. I do want to mention something to you guys that Becky Texas, I don't know if she's still here. Let me see if Becky Texas is still here. She is. Becky Texas, tell us about this illegal alien that ate a 3-year-old's child's face in Espada Park, Texas. Please tell us about this.
I didn't hear about that. He ate a baby's face? Is that what you said?
Yes. Illegal alien ate a 3-year-old child's face in Texas. Punched the mom in the face, swiped the little girl, and started eating the little daughter's face.
Oh my God.
No. I heard another story about illegal, but I don't think it was in Texas. I'm not sure. About the woman's boyfriend. She caught him raping her 11-year-old daughter. And so what she did was she drugged him and cut off his privates and set him on fire. And I guess during the court proceedings, they let her go. Kind of like justice served, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, guys. It's going to be painful. Kent's going to give us the laydown of the corrupt bankers and the dollars collapsing, and let's see what Kent's got to say. 3 minutes.
Can I interrupt for a second?
Go ahead.
Thank you. So Ashley, just so you know, next Thursday, Wendy, Aaron, and I all have a ministry event. So we are literally going to be in Myrtle Beach. So I don't think the 3 of us will be able to get on.
Copy all.
Okay. All right. I'm going to say goodnight because been up since early because I haven't felt good. So you all have a blessed one, okay?
We'll pray for you,
Right,
sis.
Thank
so
you.
And those that have to go to good night, just put it in the chat. Okay, don't do it on the live stream. We're still live streaming. Go ahead. Who was talking?
Okay, it's me. Okay, Mageso, Frank, and Billy, I don't listen, but I'm going to connect all your discussion today. I've been saying this, Ashley, for a while. The root cause of all evil is money. How did we get here? That's Frank. I'll connect all the dots to AI and the globalist corporation. We were warned by Thomas Jefferson, please focus on something very important. He told us, if you allow the bankers to control supply of your nation, the corporations that will grow around the banks via inflation, deflation will steal your property, make your children homeless. They have done that. They have achieved on this country. 1776 Constitution does not exist. It's for the corporation, by the corporation. A criminal thug syndicate in Washington, D.C. in 1913 with the illegal Federal Reserve Bank. Okay? So nothing can be solved. Like it's very well said by Rothschild at that time. Give me control of nation's money supply and I don't care who makes the laws. Number one. Then Thomas Jefferson said. Then I'll bring you very clearly the global corporations have taken over this country completely. And to Frank's point, I sent you on the text message to Mageso and you both. This was taped for yesterday. Big tech evil, the Palantir. What is in Palantir's techno-fascist manifesto? The defense tech behemoth has set the internet on fire with a tweet likened the rambling of the comic book villain. 21 points they put out in the open by Palantir how they want to enslave us digitally. Okay, this is open secret now. And what Trump, and you all believe in Trump, which...
You're running out of time, Ken. Stop screaming. Calm down.
I'm calm down. Trump is selling us as he would. He's playing, he's an actor, as Frank said. These are all criminal actors, Bill Clinton's, Bushes, and the Obamas, and
All right. We gave him his time. No cursing. Remember, we gave you this discussion, no cursing. McGay, so we get these texts from Ken. You're the perfect guy to respond to Ken. Look, this is... Look, I understand. Frank, I am totally on Frank's side when it relates to Palantir, Ken. Okay, so just understand this. Palantir is turnkey China's credit system. Okay, I promise you. That's where they're taking this. Okay, so focus on the economy and Trump's wheeling and dealing. Tell Ken what's really going on with Trump.
If I knew what was going on with Trump, I wouldn't be sitting here, because we're not in that security clearance to sit there.
No, wait. No, I'm saying Ken was rambling off. Trump's this, Trump's that. Just set him straight.
What's it is, we all have our opinions and beliefs on what's taking place. The economy is controlled by the globalists right now. It's controlled by China, but it is the money. So when Ken talks about the money, that's what you just got to follow the money. No matter if it's local, state, national, or whatever, because they're controlling the goods, they're controlling everything. We're like the Walking Dead. It's like the Night of the Living Dead. So, I'm not an economist, but I can see what's happening to the resources, the things that sustain us. Money doesn't sustain us. Power doesn't sustain us, but the goods, the things that we need, they all control, which are the basic necessities of life: food, clothing, shelter, medicine, knowledge. They control it all. Unless you do your own research and you're an independent in your own authority, you're on the outside looking in. That's why the survivalists say they're trying to take care of themselves with survival. Each person, at some point, when it hits home personally, you have to take care of yourself and your family and your immediate surroundings. We're too distracted on the global stage, the national stage, and whatever. That's going to unfold the way it unfolds. We don't control that. We do control vibration. And our vibration, our energy influences that because we're energy. Everything needs energy to move of some kind. So if we're negative energy, we're going to get negative results. If we're positive, we'll get positive results. And then we need neutral, something in the middle. That's why it doesn't matter. The uniparty is what it is. There is no Democrat, there is no Republican, there is no Rhino. They all work together. They're all part of one big mess. And we're the damage. We're getting the shrapnel. We're the ones that are absorbing everything. So it's gonna play itself out. It's played itself out over thousands of years and billions of years. So even when you talk about climate, the Earth's been here 4.5 billion years. It's going to continue to be here. We live 75 years on average, let's say. We're going to be gone. Stop wasting our energy on stupid things.
Thank you, Mikeso.
Even in Forrest Gump, he said, what stupid is, what stupid does.
Thank you so much. Frank, 90 seconds response, then we'll go to Rob to the new topic.
So just follow the money that has been pushed through Peter Thiel and all his minions. Okay, then also follow the money, because Peter is a little bit kind of behind the scenes with all the big investment banks. They're all buddies. Okay, so if you look at actions, who have they been propping up? And then you go, okay, just like Miguel said, a lot of this has been going on for a long, long time. But we get caught up in the one person is got the right approach and the other person is woke and, taking our liberties away and all these things. None of this is going to change. The World Wrestling Federation is in action every day. And we're the consumers of this bullshit. So let's get above it. As Miguel said, change your frequency, change your attitude. Don't get bogged down in the minutia. Raise your frequency, bring your health up, try to stay away from the things that seem to be, the shackles. Remember, if we probably question everybody that has a 401k and we looked in what did their company invest in, or what are they invested in, probably we're invested in all the things that we're against, because we don't really dig down deep enough. And why is my power going off? Anyways.
Time's up. Rob, thank you, Frank. Rob, what's the next topic?
You touched on it earlier, the Southern Poverty Law Center.
Let's go.
Really just kind of upset me beyond belief what they did. They invested, a little bit over $279,000 for an inside guy that they bought, and then they financed, this is what it comes down to. They financed the white supremacists to show up down at Charlottesville. God bless America if they did have a good business plan, because out of that, they got tens of millions of dollars donated to the Southern Poverty Law Center by people that just wanted to fight the Nazis. If that
Wow,
doesn't tell you
that's
everything
dirty.
you need-
That's dirty. They created the
Oh, that's
problem.
worse than dirty. You know, you set up the problem. It's just like the government. You set the problem up, you identify the problem, and don't forget, Trump took a pretty big hit out of that because they took out a few words out of his speech. That was a big plan right there. But that's just one group. How many others are there doing the same thing, whether it be Democrat or Republican? I think that I don't, you know, my personal belief is nothing's going to come of it. All they might spend a few years in jail, but they've made millions of dollars and caused all kinds of grief. Why don't we ever really, when somebody's trying to raise rabble like that, come down on them hard enough so no one will ever want to do it again? Opinions on that. Do
But
we do,
Rob,
you know, there's no accountability.
aren't they traitors though? Don't they fall under the treason deal?
Well, when was the last time we had a treason?
Well, my understanding is it's been going on in 3 centers, Gitmo being the most famous one.
Well, until you know, if you're going to do that, then make it public.
Well,
I don't believe that you should just wait because, frankly, things aren't changing. They're only getting worse. And they're getting us all right. You know, I think they're trying to drive us into civil war again.
Well, my understanding is that they're videotaping everything they've been doing and it will be public. So, I mean, time will tell. But I do think people are getting overly frustrated that they're not seeing any results. They just got to wait.
If you want it all to end, you got to take off the head of the snake.
Yeah. I don't want the head of the snake to slither off. I want the head of the snake first.
Yes,
I don't want the little tail. I want the head.
Yeah, because everything else will survive. If they don't take the head out, they're not afraid. You can parallel that out if you believers or non-believers in the crucifixion. They crucified Christ, and people are afraid of that. They're afraid of being crucified. So we hide our faith. We're not out there. We don't stand up for things because we saw what could happen. We could end up with a crown of thorns and our nails in our hands and our feet drove us away. So if we take out the devil himself, all the minions are going to run. They're going to scatter, and it's going to end. We got to take the head of the snake, period. End of story. Full stop.
We don't even know who that is.
Exactly. And that's where the energy should go. Who is the head of the snake? We keep following the trail. And at one point, it's going to reach the end. But we give up because we want the minions. We want the little guy. No, we want the head. We want the head of the snake. You saw the comedian hold Trump's head, and nothing happened, right? Nothing happened to her. If that wasn't treasonous, what was? Okay? We need the head of the snake. I don't care who it is. Just give me the head.
Oh, I just wanted to be sure it's the head.
That's right.
Go ahead, Sharon.
Everything will crumble.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Magaso. I think the thing is with the head of the snake, if we get all the snakes in our own communities, which there's quite a lot of them, each, if we each take care of our communities and expose the snakes, and then the head of the snake is eventually going to be exposed.
Well, if you look, it's, like you said, there's a lot of snakes, but they're all coordinated. I want the coordinator.
Exactly.
Well, Ken actually said it because one of the globalists came out the other day with the Strait of Hormuz and the fertilizer, and she admitted if this continues on, it's going to hurt the central bank. That's the banking system, the money lenders, the money changers.
Yeah.
That's the problem. But who is the head of it?
Exactly. Okay, Ashley, next subject.
Actually, Ron Nevada was going to get our next subject.
Oh, sorry, Ron. I didn't see anybody's hand up. So
Yeah, I didn't. So I heard today that Trump came out with a RX plan that lowers the cost of prescription drugs for the American people. And from what I heard, it's a big decrease in costs from what it was. And he says he's got one company now that is offering prescription drugs at a really big discount. And there's more companies that are going to join in. And I just thought that was a really good thing, hearing the price differences from now because of Trump's RX plan to what they have been in the past. There's a lot of saving for the American people. That's a good thing.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. A lot of the prescriptions, they just write them, and they've got side effects. And if you ever listen to them on the TV, a lot of the side effects are far worse than death itself. Now, if you make something cheap, what are you going to get more of? Drugs. There's got to be a better way. They're feeding us poisons and they're feeding us drugs to fix or not fix, but to temporarily limit. They're not curing diseases. They're just treating them.
True. But there are millions and millions of people that rely on drugs. And so a big decrease in the cost is going to help a lot of people that don't have the option to do other things.
Well,
so
I work for a pharmacy, and I do the delivery, so I only see the bottom cost. Trust me, most of the people that are getting the really expensive drugs, they're not paying anything for them. That's why pharmaceuticals come around and they say, well, we'll give you this $30 cost if, you ask for it. So, it'd be nice to have medicine, true medicine that will cure us, not just fix us.
Yeah, agreed.
Sorry, Ron.
That's all good.
Hexa fired, John Phelan, the one that had zero military experience. He was a big donor. He went to, he was part of Epstein's shenanigans. Now we have Hung Kao, which he was running for candidacy in Virginia, if you guys remember. He has 32 years as a naval career. He was a captain. Big, good story about him. So we went from Epstein's art dealer to a real sailor. That's good news. That's occurred.
Yeah, that's good news.
Yep.
Did he get voted into a position then?
Well, he's currently the Navy Secretary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Our Senate did advance the Republicans' budget to get ICE and Border Patrol back in action, 50-48, and of course, Chuck Schumer went up and started complaining.
And the regular rhinos voted against it.
Yep. North Carolina school superintendent says that he sees nothing wrong with kindergartners reading a book depicting men in BDSM leather outfits making out. That's certainly something a child would see in their community. Sorry, what? A superintendent in North Carolina. Okay, got that video ready to show you guys here in the open mic and tell. Those that are watching the live stream, go to RedAmericaFirst.com, sign up. We're looking to fill up every state in our union, and there's 50 of those. So please, RedAmericaFirst.com, tell us what state you're in, sign up. We will see you next Thursday live stream, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.